He spent most of the next 4 days unconscious.
I found out later just how much damage was done internally. You know, I mean, my femur was shattered. The hip and pelvis had serious damage where the bullet went through and, you know, did some damage to areas that had to be shored up with steel plates, and they did a phenomenal job of rebuilding, you know, kind of the rebuilding Humpty Dumpty.
Alex Jones here, back live. Louisiana Congressman Steve Scalise, after months and months and months of recovery that he almost didn't make it back from, he's now had his return to Congress today. And he, again, had to go back into the hospital repeatedly because of infections. He was shot by a high-caliber rifle, along with several other people, obviously, when a madman, who CNN basically said was a hero, who wasn't a terrorist, went looking for Republicans to kill. And then top Democratic strategists celebrated it. And they said that we needed to go out and hunt Republicans, hashtag hunt Republicans. Truly sickening group of people. But he has returned to Congress for TV viewers. We're rolling some video of that. Let's hear what Fox News had to say. Go ahead.
Can't hear words, but what we can see in the center of our screen is a man who spent a lot of time in ICU and on life support, walking down a hallway with some aid there and with a little bit of a limp. But Steve Scalise is back in the House, and he's already met today with House Speaker Paul Ryan. Paul Ryan said a few moments ago when asked how that meeting went that he was brought to tears. He said, "I'm no John Boehner. I was babbling. I was crying hard. I have no words to describe it." Let's listen to the applause.
So that's Fox News coverage of it.
So, Sandra, this is a monumental day, not only for him, but for others who have been recovering from that, and for the members there in the chamber to be able to be with him and give him support.
This is his first public appearance since that shooting at the congressional baseball practice.
And of course, a lot of Democrats have been hoping that he would die publicly. And then when one mentally ill person runs over a poor young lady, all conservatives and all libertarians are at fault, even though we're not calling for violence. But the Democrats call for violence, and then they're good when it happens. And then CNN has guests on saying the shooter wasn't evil, was just fed up with Trump. What's going to happen if folks go, "Hey, are those CNN reporters?" and then shoot a bunch of them and say, "Hey, I'm not evil"? I don't want that to happen. CNN's already politically dead, just like MSNBC, just like Nickelodeon, just like Viacom, just like Comedy Central, just like all the dirtbags. People are aware of who they are. We're breaking with them. The NFL's committed suicide. All these parasitic groups are on their knees. So let them be violent. Bring them to justice. We're not the violent ones. They know it. They can't stand it. And I'm telling you, the next card they're going to play is false flag yet again. But no matter what they do, the American people see through it. Now, here is a sneak peek of Congressman Scalise giving 60 Minutes the first interview, and it's coming up this Sunday. So here's a first look with that interview.
It was just after 7 a.m. on June 14th at a ballpark in Alexandria, Virginia, when a team made up of Republican congressmen went from shagging balls to dodging bullets.
That guy been shot, is he okay?
That guy was Congressman Steve Scalise. This cell phone video was among the first images of him that day. The last was him being wheeled on a gurney to a helicopter, clinging to life. He spent most of the next 4 days unconscious.
I found out later just how much damage was done internally. You know, I mean, my femur was shattered. The hip and pelvis had serious damage where the bullet went through and, you know, did some damage to areas that had to be shored up with steel plates, and they did a phenomenal job of rebuilding, you know, kind of the rebuilding Humpty Dumpty. I mean, there was a lot of damage inside that had to get fixed.
They put you back together again.
They put me back together again.
60 Minutes is one of the only mainstream media outlets that still has giant audiences. Megyn Kelly destroyed the NBC program she was on. Now she's destroying the morning show she has. Horrible ratings, horrible critics' reviews, just unwatchable crap. Her worshiping the total failure joke, Jane Fonda, Hanoi Jane. I mean, these people just don't get it. We're rejecting them all. But I understand why he'd go on a 60 Minutes. They're going to make it a softball interview about how he survived and what a great story that is, and probably have a little bit of anti-gun stuff mixed in, not from Scalise, but from 60 Minutes. And I really wish folks more and more would just not even give 60 Minutes the time of day. But they're not as vicious as some of the other magazine shows, and it's why people still watch it. It still has some aura of being a real investigative report, and the others don't. But they still color manipulated Stephen Bannon. They still lit him from below, just like NBC did me. They just can't help the dirty tricks, but we'll see if they do those to Scalise. But again, 60 Minutes is an example of all the other establishment media. Don't be so obvious about it, and people would still watch you. But they don't want to be beat over the head by your anti-American crap. But hey, you're not going to listen. I'm not going to interrupt our enemies as they are destroying themselves. More on the big tax cut plans, Obamacare, and more. They're saying he's going to kill it with an executive order. That's Trump.
In ancient times, man roamed the earth in a constant state of hunting or being hunted. Introducing Caveman, where cutting-edge science meets ancient super nutrients. Secure your bottle right now at InfoWarsStore.com.